Budget LS Factory 5 Roadster build update coming right up. So now that the engine's in, I thought we could take a look at a few things, especially clearances. Well, if you remember from previous videos, I put two different oil pans on this thing. The last one being the C6 oil pan, which was the shallowest. And if we take a look here at how much of a difference that made, it's actually quite a bit. That it is definitely no lower than that bell housing. And it looks like it's just about flush with those frame rails. So I certainly wouldn't want anything lower than that on this front end. If we take a look at this front crank pulley, there's really not a lot of room from this front cross member to the pulley, and it's the width of my finger, and that's it. But it's good enough, but it's close. If we look at this front compartment here, there is plenty of room here for accessories and whatnot. And the top of that radiator doesn't happen until about here. So this is all wide open. Looking at the routing for the coolant, this intake jets off at an angle here. This brake line's in the way, and I wouldn't want to make this turn. So I'm looking into replacing this with something that probably goes down, because that hose on the routing goes down and underneath this X bar, and then comes all the way to about here. The top one probably looks okay. If I keep this water pump on here, the outlet comes up and goes into the radiator right about here. It'd be nice if this came straight out, but it's my understanding that these things are pressed in there, and it is a bear to get these out. I'd probably end up destroying the water pump anyway. Looking at the sides of the engine, there's certainly plenty of room for hands to get in there. We'll see about the headers. And on this side, same thing. Looking at the back of the engine, that's also got a lot of space on there. Plenty of space, get your hand in there, and tools. Was kind of worried about that external slave cylinder, but you can see from the last video it worked pretty good, and fortunately has not leaked yet. One big problem I'm having is perhaps hood clearance. As you can see, this alternator and intake manifold stick way up, way more than I'm comfortable with. I'm not sure, but I think the body does come flush with this frame rail here, and there's really not much of an arc from what I can tell. So that might mean a new bracket pulley system, and I know that's a big, bread box truck intake manifold. It might be a new one of those, which would mean in the end I will have changed the pan, bracket, accessories, intake. I was trying to stick to a pure LS swap, but this engine came out of a huge, full-size work truck, and I'm trying to put it in something that's half the size. I get it. It's probably not going to work. Just don't see a lot of clearance on the body here. If it sits flush against those side frame rails of the engine. But with it being so easy to access everything in there, I may just leave it and go-kart it like this, and then take half a day and just throw the body on there to see where I'm at with hood clearance. Be a fun exercise. One other thing to consider is this gauge package comes with a gauge for oil temperature. Now it's my understanding that this LS engine does not have an input for an oil temperature. There's no oil temperature sensor on that engine. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong, but one place I thought that that might work is the port where I primed it, which is right here, could accommodate an oil temperature sensor. The problem is this power steering pump, a new fitting goes in here and it sticks out and looks like it might interfere with an oil temperature sensor in here. But if I end up changing this bracket and pulley system anyway, well, then I could probably get the oil temp sensor in there, right there, but I'm gonna leave it out for now. One other thing I'm dealing with is the kit did not come with a transmission mount, as you see here in the instructions, nor did the transmission come with the mount. So I sent an email to Factory 5 asking for that transmission mount kit so I could use that to install it. But I haven't heard back. I also called them, but the voice message said, hey, if you've already emailed us, don't leave a message about the same thing. We're busy, we'll get back to you. But without that, I can't put the drive shaft in. And I think a couple of other things, but there's a bunch of other stuff I can get busy with. One more thing now that this engine is in that I wanted to show you is, and this is way in here, but this is where the dipstick goes in, right there where that tape is. And that dipstick came with this pan because it's specific to the depth of the pan. But the problem is that dipstick mounted on one of these engine mounts, which is now blocked. for watching.